Assay, and in the last video we finished the breakthrough to the 40-foot level at Montana B, and in the overhanging brow there was quite a lot of vein material showing, which was a perfect opportunity to sample that. We're trying to figure out whether it looks profitable to continue on, so we need to get some good samples. Anyhow, can't even see myself there. Wow, there it is. Anyhow, so what we got is 3 samples. This is of the softer vein material. Softer is in fact a relative term. It's got high iron. In many cases it seems almost entirely iron, in other cases very little. So, and that looks almost all iron oxides, a little silica. Anyhow, we're going to take all 3 of these samples and crush them down to 1/2 inch minus, split that down to more manageable sizes, and then crush about 1/2 to 2/3 of a bucket or so down to the final size, which is kind of sand through the RC46 there. To save wear and tear and to speed things up, I'm going to start with these rollers pulled away from each other, so as soon as the material goes through the jaw crusher, it goes straight down to there. Doesn't wear the rollers, those are expensive and time consuming to replace, and I don't need it for that. 1/2 inch minus is fine to feed into the impact mill. So here's the softer parts of the vein. This is the hard stuff we call kryptonite. Actually, this looks almost like wall rock there. This looks more like the kryptonite. It's a mineralized, very tough quartz. So, say that's some pretty difficult material to work with, and it's physically different from the vein rock around it. You can see it's a different event. And this is from the muck pile when I was just busting through, stuff was dropping, and by golly, I can't segregate or anything. So the question is, we got about 5 tons of stuff sitting on the floor of the 40-foot level. Is it worth processing or not? This I'm going to screen to 1/2 inch minus, and I'm going to have the 1/2 inch minus assayed, retain the 1/2 inch plus. If the 1/2 inch minus looks good and the other stuff is good, we can do the 1/2 inch plus later. So let me adjust the rolls, fire up the crusher, and get to work. Oh, and don the PPE. This is very loud. You definitely need your safety glasses when you're putting hard rock into that jaw crusher, and it's going to be pretty dusty too. So here's the RC46 working on the softer vein rock without the rolls engaged. Now, this is what I call kryptonite. This is much softer material, primarily iron, although there's a lot of silicon in there too. You can see how this was deposited at 2 different times. This is not the same as that. See that layer? One of them formed first, the crack opened up some more, and the other one formed second. This is what I would think would be the most valuable, and that would be less valuable. Okay, we've got the vein material split, the muck pile material screened, and the Kryptonite, the hard vein material, primary crushed. Here's kind of what it's looking like. That would be your hard quartz. This would be more your softer vein material. There's just mainly the hard quartz. That's what we like to call kryptonite, because hard quartz is so hard to say. Anyhow, now we got to take this, and I'm going to reduce this down to about 1/4 as much, again, to minimize the wear on my rolls. Come on. Stupid thing. It just doesn't want to find a flat spot here. This is my bucket splitter, but it does kind of require reasonably fat ground to sit on. And what you got is 2 sets of chutes, half of which go one way, half the other. And that gives you a good statistically balanced sample of what you put in it. Put one in, you get 2 of the same thing. Let's see if I can do this. See, it evenly divided. Gold is valuable in such small quantities that you have to be very careful with it. Not like this end. It's not good. I'll find a little better spot for this. Anyhow, that's what that process looks like. Now I got the rolls in. So now we're done with the field sample prep. The rest is done by the lab. We started out with a big sample, crushed it to 1/4 inch minus or thereabouts, split it down to 20-25 pounds, pulverized it, split it down to the sample bag. Same thing with kryptonite. In this case, we also kept a couple of examples, so we can look at it later. Same thing. In this case, instead of crushing, I'm mostly interested in the fines. That's easy to do in the field. My presumption is, if anything's going to be worth bringing back, it'll be the fines. If that comes back suitable for hauling, then we'll crush and test those. Then just take, set the bucket up there, put another one, keep out the rain, and we got all of our little samples ready to do more with once we get back numbers, and we're ready to go. Send those off with the check and wait for numbers.